So welcome, this is our beautiful mini retreat workshop as we connect in with the process called Elevate. And Elevate really is a sweet process. It came to my awareness in doing work with the clients with whom I work and seeing how much struggling and how much suffering there is in the system and how hard it is to just move away from our own perceived reality. So a way to do this is to find a mechanism or a process to move beyond our own experience and the attachment that we create inside of our experiences. So for us, as we are moving through this life, we are going to have collisions of all kinds and all kinds of connections. It's going to happen. And the idea is that while this is happening, we are growing all the time. We're not growing in our misery and our pain, but we're growing up and we're becoming more and more masters of who we are and how we can show up and how we can be in the world. So that is the gift that I really would love for us to bring in. That is our own finding of ourselves and connecting into our truth and helping ourselves to really become full and complete people. Because pain is inevitable and we are going to suffer some kind of pain at some time. Nobody is free of that. So let's start at the very beginning and we'll do the process as if you are in a workshop retreat and you are going through step by step and feeling what it's like to be in each step. The first step really is we have to come to an agreement with ourselves. And the agreement is, and we have to ask ourselves, am I ready to release my pain and my suffering? So for those of you who do have any kind of notebook, or if you have got something to write in, this is always a really good idea to bring that into the session so that you can make some notes, because you'll be surprised at what we do write. There's a huge amount of information that comes into our inner conscious, our subconscious mind. And sometimes just writing sort of bypasses our own censoring of self. So if you are writing and you're willing to do that now, then take out your pen and just ask yourself this question: am I ready to release pain and suffering? And once we make that decision and we really claim and declare that we are ready, then it gives us the first opening into this beautiful, beautiful system of releasing. So just feel that inside yourself for a moment. And where you are, just drop down into your body. And we take a nice deep breath in. And just feel where you are right now. Feel the energy of your being around you. And ask your body to bring you into a deep inner peaceful space. And as you do this, so you are sitting or lying down, and you've created a retreat in your own space, so just honor that. And honor yourself in your space. And you begin to breathe in. And as you breathe out, your body begins to relax. And as you are relaxing and as you are coming into this deeper connection, ask yourself, am I ready to release the suffering in my being? So we breathe in and we ask our heart, is this heart ready to release the suffering within? Or is there just a little nuance in us that says, oh, it's okay just to hold this just one more moment? And because perhaps I'm getting some kind of feedback, and sympathy. And I know we don't want to say these things out loud to ourselves, but actually these little notes do hang inside of us. It's that sense of being a victim to situations. And, when we talk about being victims, it's not a judgment. Just take it as an awareness. We all have that. We all plug into that poor me, I'm sorry for myself space. Ugh, I know, I do it a lot. And it seems to be like a wiring that we have. It's very annoying. So go there into that space and be willing to be with it. Am I getting any feedback? Is it benefiting me in some way to be in a way broken or needing sympathy or needing help or need to be rescued? Does it buy me any special favors or attention? Just be brutally honest with yourself, because you're in your own space. You might as well. No one's going to read what you say, and no one's going to hear what's coming into your heart. Just trust that what you're saying to yourself is your truth. Good. And then ask yourself again, am I ready to release my pain? So here we are, holding a question in our heart and honoring the space that we're in. Take a nice deep breath and relax your body and come fully into this moment. And now we begin this beautiful process. So the first piece that we need to do as we come into this is, first of all, just be willing to sit with the pain. So where you are, is it okay for you to just sit with your pain? And then while you're sitting with your pain, record in your being, what am I feeling? And so you can make some notes of that. Is it despair? Is it fear? Is it guilt? Is it just pure heavy darkness? Is it anxiety that you will not meet another or be with another, or that you're not good enough? Try and really get what it is that you are feeling. And so this step is really important, because if we don't get what it is that we're feeling, that means we haven't connected in with it. And if we do not connect in with the feeling, then we cannot ask our mind, body, being to disconnect from the pain that we're experiencing. So I hope that makes sense to you. So be okay now just to sit with the pain, hold the feeling, and identify, what am I feeling? And bring those notes into your body, into your being, and make note of them, because we're going to need to be very clear on this point before we go on. And now we start with the next point. How am I honoring me? And again, just journal what it is. Write down a few points. How am I honoring me? That's quite a big question to ask yourself, because we'd like to think we are honoring ourselves, but we don't actually automatically just honor ourselves. It takes a little effort sometimes for us to even consider how we are honoring ourselves. So how would your honoring look? Are you taking time out? Are you allowing yourself to be in a grieving space, a hurt space, a vulnerable space? Are you eating well? Are you looking after your body, your mind? Are you still seeing friends? What are you doing that feels honoring to you? And make note of that. Good. So this process, if you are making notes about it, it's going to guide you through step by step. And even if you just write down these headings so that you can come back and be in it again at another point, that also will be fine. Don't feel like it's too much like school. We wouldn't love that. And now ask yourself, what are my old patterns? What are the patterns that seem to keep coming up? Do I have a connection with someone that seems to go well, and then somehow the other it seems to sabotage, or I sabotage it, or just it disintegrates or unravels? Or what are the old patterns? Do I flourish for a little while, and then do I sink into a space of misery and pain? So consider that. What are my old patterns? And then also look at what are the cords of pain that keep showing up. Now, cords of pain are really, really important for us to understand, because these cords are really like strangling cords that we have wrapped around our necks and our throats and our bodies. And they sort of take and squeeze out any kind of happiness in our being. And cords can be huge and they can just be small, but it doesn't matter what size they are. It doesn't matter how huge or how small they really are, or as we perceive them. If we are holding a cord of pain, it will keep showing up, and you will understand this as we go on. So if there is a cord, a signal of pain that you keep coming into, that keeps colliding into your reality, into your awareness, just start noting what that is. Do I think I'm the one who is always disillusioned? Am I the one who is always betrayed? Am I the one who is disregarded or neglected? Am I the one who's being abused in some way, mentally, physically, emotionally? What is coming up as a cord of pain? Do I feel locked into relationships, stuck? Do I feel dominated and a deep desire to get out? Just get out, run away, don't commit. What is the thing that keeps showing up that is causing pain in your life? And you might have a few. Pretty much most of us have a whole bunch. You can write them all down, but what is wonderful is if you can unlock one at a time so that you keep it very clear, and you'll be amazed that when you unlock one, it seems to really hang on to the energy of the other energies around, and you can unlock those too. So let's go now on to step 2. Just take a nice deep breath in. And again, just drop into this moment. It's not always easy being really real with who we are. It's not very easy being honest with our own self. We have so many ways of denying and deceiving, disconnecting. So we deflect and we reject and we deny and we anesthetize ourselves. We do all kinds of numbing and numbing down processes so that we don't feel, so that we won't ache, so that we won't hurt. So that first step is just to get to the point where we are willing to feel, because to feel is to heal. And then when we come on to step 2, we want to do this first. Do nothing. Do absolutely nothing at this point. Because anything that we do try to do hear the word try. The moment we go like, oh, I better try and be cheerful, I must try and show up, I must try and be nice, I must try to behave better, it's not truth. Because what you're doing when you say, I must try to do something, is that you are hooking in to a performance requirement. You are requiring yourself to perform in one way or another. And the moment we hook into a requirement, a performance, the moment we go there, we start to experience enormous pain. Because when we start performing, we are not in our truth. We start deceiving ourselves and all of those around us. And we start behaving in ways that are either passive aggressive, or they're rejecting of self or the other. We'll deflect any inquiries or any truth or any suggestions. We'll deny that it is us or them or the situation, or we'll deny that there is any way out of it as we stay trapped in a sense of hopelessness and pain. These are all common to all of us. So it's okay for us to say, yes, I do know that about myself. No one's looking over your shoulder because you're in your own space. Just admit what it is that is a deep truth for yourself. How do you play inside of these games? So why step 2 asks you to do nothing? It is because we are asking for ourselves not to try and do anything. Because anything that you do at this point will reflect the coping mechanisms and the distracting mechanisms that you've been playing with for a long time and that have probably worked very well for you. Deny, deflect, reject, distract, detach, destroy. That's a good one. We'll have to destroy each other. Okay, so we're doing nothing, right? Absolutely nothing. We're just going to sit with the pain where you are. And in this moment, be willing to sit with the pain. Be right there in this moment and feel it. And nobody can hear you, and nobody can see you, and you're in your own beautiful sanctuary space. And it's okay here if you want to wail it out, scream it out, rage it out. Allow yourself that. Allow yourself the privilege of feeling the pain that you are experiencing. Your experience is completely valid, and so are you. I sit with the pain. And guess what? I'm not dead yet. I'm still here, and I'm still sitting, and the earth hasn't engulfed me. And no one's come to tell me I'm wrong and I'm silly. I'm just sitting with my pain. Because I declared and made a motion and knowing in my being that I no longer want to carry it. So it's okay for me now just to sit with the pain. Now, while we sit here, get absolutely clear about this pain. Where is it? Where is this pain in your body? Where does it hold? Where does it grip you? Where does it ache? And if this pain had a texture, how would the texture look? You might even draw what the pain looks like in your inner mind. How would you interpret this for yourself? And right now, let's ask ourselves, what would be the opposite of this pain? The exact opposite of this pain. So if you've written something like compression or tightness, if you've said darkness or loneliness, what would the exact opposite of this pain be? And make a note of that, because we're going to need it to go on. Good. I'm just trusting that where you are right now, that you are feeling okay and that you can be in this process. Just be in it in any way that you can. Allow yourself at least that gift, that you're willing to be with it in any way that you can right now. Try and drop away from your being any performance requirement. There's nothing that is required of you now. Just to be in the truth of your own space, the sanctuary of your own home. Good. Well done. Take a nice deep breath. And now we're going to go a little further. I want you to feel and to listen into your body. And listen into what it is that you are longing for. Listen to your longing. So maybe we've identified a pain as a darkness, a huge chasm, a hole. And then we've said to ourselves, what is the exact opposite of this? It would be light and openness. And so what is it that I am longing to experience? Listen to your longing and write that down. What is my longing calling for my being? What am I calling in to my being as a deep, deep longing? That longing, that desire is an etching, a mark that is in your imprint, in your soul imprint. And it is the reason why you are having this experience. You're going to hear about that. Just take that as a truth right now. And connect into your longing and your desire. What have you always called for? What have you always wished for? What have you called out as an anthem, claimed or cried out even as a child? My favorite one when I was growing up with, it's not fair. I wanted things to be more fair. I was absolutely on a pursuit of what is fair in life when I was a child. And I didn't understand that fairness doesn't mean sameness. But I called from my heart for this thing that said fair. And if I interpret it now, I look at what fair really is for me. It is a longing and a desire for us to show up in the world in a different way and to hold each other in a different way. And to hold each other with respect and kindness and authenticity. And guess what I'm doing because of that longing and that desire? That longing and that desire is an imprint in the soul that is awakening us to step in to what it is that we're here to be part of. It is our journey. So mark it well, mark this well. What do I long for? What do I desire? What has been my anthem? And how was I as a child when I was feeling and connecting with this? Good. And now we're going to come into expansion through a breath exercise. Because until our mind-body agrees that we can expand, we can't expand. We can only imagine it or hope for it. But until the body can experience it and knows it to be a possibility, then only can we actually connect into the actual experience and the reality that comes out of the inner body-mind experience. So let me take us into a moment of a guided breathing exercise so that we can feel the expansion in the body, and so that we can come in to know ourselves in the most expansive, significant way. And really what this is starting to do is to create a signal in your mind body, in the agreement that I'm willing to expand and I'm willing to become and step into more than this that I am now. It's just a willingness opener. All right, so where you are, close your eyes. Take a nice deep breath. And as you breathe out, just drop your shoulders. Relax your back, relax your body. Now we begin to breathe in, drawing beautiful prana, oxygen, life force energy in the two streams of the nostrils. And as you begin to breathe in, I want you to feel and imagine the energy that is not just air, but it's air and life force coming in through the nostrils, going down the back of the throat, and feel the passage as it goes and enters into the body, and open your lungs to give it space. Draw in the breath, feel the pathway that you're opening up, and open your ribs. Breathe and expand as much as you can. Let your belly come out to make lots of space for this breath. And when you're ready to breathe out each time, let your belly start to soften and push back towards the spine. Let the ribs begin to close together around a center point as if you are going to squeeze your diaphragm, solar plexus, like a little ball, and you're squeezing, squeezing, releasing, releasing that breath until there is no more breath to release. And when you're ready, just drop and begin again. Feel the stream that comes now readily available into the nostrils, open through the throat, chest, belly opening, whole body opening to experience expansion, making space. And now breathe out. Breathe out and let the belly sink down. The ribs come together. Get to the end point. Squeeze as hard as you can. And agree to release and let go every morsel of breath until your entire body screams for you to give it life. And when you agree, drop all the tension and notice that the breath just comes pouring in. Open up and let it pour in. Beautiful. So this breath is marking the ability for us to experience expansion and contraction. And that rhythm is the exact rhythm of life. It is the heartbeat of life. And we are pushing it a little bit to extremes right now to really make the note and the signal be felt in this mind body. We breathe so much in an unconscious way, and so much of our life experiences are unconscious to us. It is as if we come into a stream of just doing and repeating and cycles, one thing after another, an endless activity of the same pursuit. So now what we are doing is we are holding the mind body in its awareness of expansion and feeling fullness and making space and extending the belly and opening the ribs and allowing and allowing and allowing and allowing until we are absolutely full and saturated and there is no more space for any more. And we're absolutely certain that we've hit the top point. And when we are there, only then are we willing to begin to release. We want to experience the top point, and then we are able to release and let go, eliminate all that which no longer serves us. This breath has served us well, and we are now willing to release it. Release it with all your heart and all your soul, so that you can experience the moment of gaining new breath, allowing for new life to come into you. Breathing out and squeezing. Each time you are doing this, becoming more and more clear about what it is that you are in action of, what you are activating in your being. Beautiful. Now, while you are continuing to extend and open and then release and let go and contract, hear this. At the end of every breath, when we have breathed out all that we have, we do not hold on to one little morsel just in case there's no more air. We absolutely know that the breath of life is all around us. We absolutely know it, so that we can release everything, so that the breath of life that comes into an open, clear, and new space. Think about that. We don't have to hold on to one tiny bit of breath just in case, because the breath of life is always here, and it's here in abundance. There is no end. Think how powerful that is. The breath of life is in abundance. Life is in abundance. And all it takes is for me to let go of every old stream that I've been playing in, so that I can begin to embrace something new. Our body, mind, and our breath is experiencing that, so that it can become part of your inner knowing, a deep inner assurance, calming and soothing the mind-body, releasing all old patterns that hold us in ways of perceiving this world from a point of lack and suffering. There is no suffering in this breath. There is just assured releasing, letting go, so that the new breath coming in can be completely that, the new breath. The breath that fills us up and sustains us and gives to us. Good. Just relax a little while now. I know too much heavy breathing can make us lightheaded. Just relax now. As you hear one more point on this, let your mind and body hear this now and feel it and know it, because this is an embedded truth, and it is the key. That when I come to the end of my breath and I've released it all, and I'm not holding on to anything, and my body is saying, choose life, and I decide to give myself life, what happens in that split second moment when I decide to choose life is I come into the most profound agreement. And what I do with my being is I surrender all tightness, all holding, to receive this new breath. So just experience that one more time now. Taking in the beautiful breath, opening and expanding as full as you can get, abundance. Now releasing, letting go. Get to the end point and squeeze and squeeze. Get to the point where the entire mind body says, choose life, give me breath, I need it now. Go there and become very observant of when you do choose and what happens in your body. Watch what you do. As you are squeezing, the moment you choose, what happens? It's a dropping through experience. You can feel the energy begin to run through your body, up your spine. If you pay attention, you will feel a different energy coming in. This is the energy of expansion, possibility, and the decision to be fully here. Beautiful. And so you might be feeling your own throat energy right now. Let's just clear that, because this is where it gets locked in. So let's take a nice deep breath in. And we're just going to hum it out. As we're humming, we're causing a resonance to happen in the throat and in the chest. And as you're doing this, bring in that imprint of allowing. I allow myself to be the healthiest, most well-vibrant being. Because what we have done in this exercise of breathing, we've unlocked the resistance to heal. So that's why it gets caught in the throat. So let's just breathe in again and hum it out. Beautiful. And you can feel the next breath that comes after that is much more clearer, much clearer. So you can even hear in your own throat if you're starting to sound or starting to talk or just speak to yourself. Remember, you're in your own sanctuary, so no one can hear you, so it's okay for you to say whatever you like. You will hear that you are able to speak a little bit more clearly. If there's a little residue, just keep breathing it out, because this is our point of where we really hold a hang of a lot of stuff in the throat. Think about the throat. It's this little space between the head that tells us what it thinks we should do, and the body that's telling us what we really do need. And the little neck between is the portal of entry that we decide how much we're going to nourish ourselves and how much we're going to give to our being. So think about the throat and the energy of the throat. It is the same access point. It's a place where we decide how much, and are we deserving, and are we willing? Will I allow? So feel that energy and just help yourself come into an agreement. I'm willing, and I allow, and I deserve. We absolutely deserve. Good. So we have taken a little feeling that we have been holding. We've actually sat with it and felt it, heaven forbid, and we are still alive and the world is still turning. And we become very honest about who we are and how we're moving and how this thing that is sitting in us is creating chaos and havoc in our lives. And we are knowing that because the thing that is causing the pain is a pattern, keeps coming up as a pattern and as a sequence. It will continue to do that for as long as we hold it inside of us as a reference point. And the moment we bring it out into clarity and into openness, and the moment we expand this pain into our higher awareness and into our full awareness, we can start working with this thing in the most delightful way. So we take a journey now, we take the journey upward, and we take it into higher perception. So if you were to imagine this now, that you have got on your back, the backpack, filled with all the stuff that has been holding you back, that is your pain, that is your struggle, that is your longing and your desiring, and you're holding all of that on your back in this backpack, and you decide that actually the thing that I'm holding is a something of significance. not something to be buried or disregarded, or not something to feel shameful or blame ourselves about, or scream at others and blame them for bringing it in. We are going to take some ownership. We're going to put the wretched thing in a backpack on our back, and we're going to hold it there, and we're going to honor this that we know that has probably been in our line, because patterns do not just start in our own life journeys. You will go back and you will see these are like legacies, and they will be inside your family's legacies as well. They are energy legacies. So we're going to imagine now that we've got all of this and we've popped it on our back, and we're willing to hold it, we're willing to carry it, and we're willing to take it on a journey, because we are willing to take it out into a much higher space of awareness. And while we're doing this and we're packing it in, we're thinking about what it is that we would like to create at the end. When we come to the end of this journey, what legacy would we like to leave? And imagine that there is a legacy. Not money, not cars, not houses, not shares, not any of that stuff. None of that can last. None of that will last. But a legacy, an energy legacy, an imprint will last. Well, for heaven's sakes, it's lasted inside of you since all time. Families have carried our energy legacies of our pain right through eons of time. So legacies last. And legacies that are made in higher consciousness can last till eternity. Legacies of the highest energy will last for always. If you could leave one legacy of energy, what might that be? If you could place a seed of hope, something, plant something that is amazing, that is possibility, what might that be? And we consider that as we connect in to all that we are holding in the backpack upon us. The idea of leaving an energy legacy is only a possibility. It's just a thought. And thought is energy. And you are holding that thought, and you are holding the energy of it. And imagine now that you climb up a great mountain with this backpack, and you take every single pulling up through the great rocks, and every little finger mark and impression that you use to climb and to get your grip. And you pay attention to the way you're climbing up a very, very tall mountain. So visualize yourself doing that. There you are, holding, climbing, boulder by boulder. And it really is a tall mountain that you've chosen. And all the boulders, and all the crevices, and all the rough spaces, they represent all the spaces of your life that have been difficult, challenging, hard to maneuver through. Sometimes seeming as if they were impenetrable obstacles, that you were simply not able to go any higher, further, or could not continue. And yet somehow you find a little crack, and you put your fingers into it, and you find a little toe grip, and you trust that it's going to hold your weight, and the weight of the burden that you are holding upon your back. And you find a way along a tiny ledge with a sheer face in front of you. And it feels like at this point there is nowhere else to go. I either continue and trust, or I just let go and say I can't and fall down. And what would I choose here on this rock face? How would I choose to go? take a breath and choose, like the same breath that we were choosing, an expansion. Feel the breath and see yourself finding another grip. Magically, it appears. And the ledge becomes a little wider now suddenly, and so you continue to climb. And feel the relief now, and you know you can do it. You just know you can do it. Somehow this gives you a spur of adrenaline, and your energy becomes so courageous, and you start to climb now quite fast. And you almost scramble up the last little bit of rocks, and you get to the very top. It's amazing. Here you are, right at the very top. And you look down, and you can barely believe how far you've come. You can barely believe that you actually managed to traverse through great chasm of rock and tiny little spaces and sheer edges, sheer faces. Oh my gosh. And here you are, right at the very top. And the backpack is still with you. You have brought it along for this journey. You've brought it along because you want to bring it into a higher perspective, a new space. You want to take it out of the space that has been very dark below. And you want to bring it into more light. So the top of the mountain just makes so much sense. You take the backpack off and you put it down on the ground. And you sit down next to it. And you begin to look at the view around you, and it's beautiful in all directions. It is so beautiful. Wide open spaces, blue, blue sky. And there are huge birds circling and flying around you. It is as if the breath of air here is so sweet. And so you sit here, and the idea of change and possibility seems absolutely within you. And while you're sitting on this earth, you think about the climb that you've just taken, the journey of this life. And you feel how strong you are. And you feel this energy is an energy of possibility. And it's okay that I'm here. And somehow this earth has helped me and supported me and opened up possibilities for me. It is so amazing to be here now and in this space. And while you sit here, you honor that which you have packed into that bag. And you begin to think of all the people who have been part of that knowing and those experiences that are packed inside there. And you begin to conjure up all your thoughts and all your feelings. And thinking about your thoughts as being electric beams of energy, and your emotions being magnetic beams of energy. And while you are thinking and feeling, you are connecting into your electromagnetic field. Where you're sitting here, you begin to feel your life, your pulse, your heartbeat, your breath, your being, your strength, your courage, your determination. You are still here. The fact that you are still here is the greatest gift that you can offer to this life and to this dimension. So we see here our pain as a gift. This pain that I've been holding is a gift of awakening. It has brought me to a point where I'm willing to sit with it and see it, know it and feel it, and honor it. And I'm willing to bring it all the way up to the top of this mountain. And I'm willing to bring it into more light. And I hold this here, this pain, and I understand it now as being the pain and suffering of humanity. There is nothing different about what I'm feeling to what others have felt eons ago. Everything that I'm experiencing in this life is not mine alone. It belongs to a stream of awareness, of consciousness, of reality that we have created. And then, because we created it as reality, we made it reality. We made it show up in our lives. We continue to play in that same stream that has been running for such a long, long, long time. And I begin to feel a connection to all beings. And I think about how we are as humans, and this great walk that we have had in our enormous endeavor to survive, and how ingenious and resilient and courageous we have had to be, and how much pain we have all known, and suffering and heartache and longing and horror, and how hard we've been upon each other. And we have been showing each other what it is that we do no longer wish to embrace, and we are still doing that, and no one has got the message until now. I get it. Every single thing that has been shown to me by those who've performed and shown up in my life and given me the awareness of this pain that I'm holding, every single one of them is a messenger who has come into my life so that I would know. And if I can know it and I can feel it, then I can heal it. Knowing of pain is not adequate. We will simply gloss over it and distract and detach and run and deny and continue the same stream in this perpetual cycle of ignorance, unconsciousness. But I'm willing to feel it to heal it. And how will I feel it? I will feel it by having impact collisions with all others. I will have it by seeing in the reflection of others what it is that I need to know, what I call out from my heart's desiring, no more of this. I do not embrace this. No more of this. When I know contrast, I immediately know what it is that I seek with all my heart and all my soul. Imagine that which you seek, that which you recorded, is now here with you in this place of openness, possibility, and expansion, the very top of the mountain. I'm holding an awareness here, possibility, expansion, and place the words that your longing and desire called out for. Place them like seeds into the earth. Imagine that you are the one who has got the message. You thank everybody who gave the message to you so that you would be the one who would get the message. And you place these seeds of higher thinking, of love and life and respect and trust and happiness and honesty and integrity and accountability. And whatever it is that you long for and desire, place it into the earth now. Embed it as a code, an imprint. And as you do, create some symbol, a sound, a color, a feeling, a thought, a picture, whatever you want, it doesn't matter. But create it in some way. Stamp it into the ground however you want, but create an imprint, an impression, a marking point smack, clap, beat, whatever you need to do, but create an imprint with it. Because this is how we are going to create a new energy. Think about when we throw a stone into a pond, and the moment we throw it in, it creates an impact, an impression, and the ripple continues outward, resonance. That's what we're doing. Imprint this message into the earth. Imagine that you are marking this point and you are the marker. You are the one that is claiming, proclaiming, and declaring, this is the energy that I'm setting in to this beautiful earth as a new vibration of possibility, so that we can begin to feel another vibration. And as we do this, feel the compassion that we have for all beings who have brought the contrast and the understanding of what it is that we need to choose away from. What will we never wish to see again, do again, feel again, or experience again? Everyone who came in was a messenger of knowing. Feel how you can connect in with them now. Is it possible for you to view them in a way of such love and gratitude? Can you see them perhaps as those who have come to help you to awaken and to support you as a great healer in this time? And they played a role that was not very loving and embracing, a difficult role, so that you would get this understanding. Just as you too are going to play some roles in other people's lives. And the roles of the disagreeable one is never a popular role to take. We all want to be the hero or the heroine. But sometimes we too play the unpopular role to support the awakening of another. And for the other not to get the message, but to keep creating hate and anger and revenge and guilt and shame and blame. That is not the purpose of it. That frequency is way too low. So imagine if we can re-see our relationships and our connections. Someone comes into our life. They awaken a pain, a longing, and a knowing. And I take it, it's full circle. I take it onto the journey of expansion. And I reveal it into my being and into the light. And I allow it to become the light. And I allow me to be the light that then lets go of all the pain and the blame and the shaming and the hate and the anger and the revenge towards the other. I let go of that. Am I willing? Feel it in your throat. Will I allow myself to let go of the other and see them as a gift, as a messenger? And when a messenger comes and brings you a parcel to your door, tapping on your door, you take the parcel, but the messenger leaves. Now imagine that the messengers that have come into your life can leave. They gave you the gift of awareness and they can leave. It's easy. You don't have to invite them in and give them tea and cake. They're just the messenger. Release them. You got the message, and that role that they played was so that you would get the message. Have you got the message? Here we come on to step 6, and here we are. So let me help me be the one healthy cell. that if you can imagine that you are at this point where you are willing to be clear of the drama and karma and all the hooks and trauma, the patterns, and you can see you clearly because you are willing to open up and be vulnerable and expose and trust and take it up into a higher space of awareness. If you are the one who is there, and if you are willing to help yourself be your one healthy cell, imagine you as one healthy cell in the body of all that is, and you're willing to be that. You're willing to hold yourself in that beautiful space. And imagine the ripple effect of energy that now is able to come through you. The ripple effect is enormous. From one healthy cell that vibrates with compassion and love, acceptance, trust, kindness. That energy is so irresistible. It amplifies and it opens up into a new electromagnetic field around you. So you, just being in any space you desire to be in, you are making amazing effect, imprint. So now we need to just do one thing, and that's remember who you are. Remember who you are, and remember why you came to be here. And we speak into our being, I am. So I'd like you now just to look at the list that you created in the beginning of all the things that you said you desired and you longed for. And now speak to yourself and speak it out loud. Remember, you in your own sanctuary, no one will hear, just you. Speak it into your deepest core truth, I am, and choose every word that you put there. And claim that energy to be you, to be your energy, to be your inner stream. I am peace. I am love. I am a divine light healer. I am here. I am forgiveness. I am gratitude. And so the list can go on and on and on in the claiming of who we are, and to declare, proclaim, and claim this energy is the greatest gift that we can give ourselves. And may you feel the blessing of this, my darling. Deep blessing. Ah, lovely. So let's take a nice deep breath in. And as you breathe out, just let your awareness come to where you are in this moment, in your beautiful body, in your beautiful being. And we thank this amazing resiliency and adaptability of this mind and this body and this being for being able to connect into another stream of energy. Think about yourself as being the one who can change the course of many lives to come. Just by choosing to operate your being, processing yourself in a whole new way, elevating your energy, you become a stream of health and vitality and vibrance. Beautiful. So good. Now, where you are, I want you to thank your own mind and body. Thank your being for being present, and thank yourself for bringing in a message into the world that you've awakened to, and that you might now move and be and show up in this world in a whole new way. And may the blessing of this ripple out from you through your electromagnetic field and touch the hearts, minds and souls of all those with whom you connect. So much love to you. The deepest blessings. Well done. Ah, lovely. So clearing of the throat is going to happen a lot now because this is a lot of energy here. Drinking a lot of water and staying inside of a gentle space for as long as you can now. And honoring your space. Try and stay away from things that are rude and harsh. This is a good practice just generally. And hold your own powerful being in your own powerful light, pure love and light. So much love to you. Namaste, and thank you for being and showing.
From up here, the world seems small. We can sit together. It's so beautiful.